morning show is concerned. It's amazing to know that you're watching us this morning. And yes, I'm greeting my people all the way from Bangem, all the way from Douala, all the way from Tiko, all the way from Limbe. Yeah, in Buea, I'm saying good morning to those at Bunduma, those in Moliko, wherever you're watching us this morning. Amazing morning to your end, and make sure you make use of the sun. If there's nothing to do, hey, take pictures. If you have you have a very nice smartphone, you should take a natural picture this morning, because trust me, you'll be glowing. Yeah. And I'm saying good morning to all those who just tuned in. Right about now, we are going to prepare, it's pepper soup this morning. No, I don't think pepper soup is good for our health. We want something, a little bit cold, but even though it's not good to take cold things in the morning, but the weather is already sunny, so we're going to prepare something, to cool your body a little bit. When we come back, we continue the show. Don't move a muscle.
Écoutez me faisait vibrer. Lorsque je m'arrêtais pour toi, écoutez, j'avais nostalgie. L'amour que je sentais des choses, écoutez, me faisait vibrer. Lorsque je m'arrêtais pour toi.
Oh, I'm sure my mothers or my fathers seeing this right now will be like, oh, they just reminded me of those days. And then I have this one question, like, is that not crop top that I saw there? Because each time the thing of back in the days comes, some parents literally make us to feel like most of the things or most of the dressings that we have now, or the way we dress right now, we invented it or we copied it from the West. Oh, let's say we copied it from the West, but geez, if you see the way when they talk of hot girls at those time, where did that dress is that not crop top that I saw there? Is that not crop top? And that reminds me too, all the, is it the crop tops, is it the open back, or is it which one? All those things are simply things that existed before and they are bringing it back in fashion. It's just that us, we are let's say a little bit exaggerating it because we wear it everywhere. Those mamas, if they told you how, in fact my grandmother has given me the full gist, they told you how they used to dress. When it's just that they do their own, maybe in a specific place. That's what they saw. Just that us in this our generation, the crop top that probably you can wear to maybe a party or what, that's what you are wearing to walk on the streets of Moliko. The shorts that you can wear, you know, inside the house, that's what you're wearing. So that's, I think that's just the difference. But when it comes to the dressing, when it comes to the attires, truly speaking, that is what they used to wear. Like, let's talk about the alpagas, you know, the big foot, the trousers with the big foot. Now we call it we have given it a new name in the name of boyfriend jean. Others call it, I don't understand this, so another word, is it joggings or what? They are giving it new names, but it's simply history repeating itself. The very big trousers that you find men wear, we see it in the movies, in the awards, you see the Oscars, you see others. These celebrities are wearing these things. If you go back the 80s, you go back the 60s and check those pictures, it's the same thing. It's just that it has been rebranded, probably giving some, you know, a little touches here and there, but that is it. Those were the things that they wore. Like, they wore those things, right? So it's just simply history repeating itself. And not to talk of the heels with the very big unders, the call it the savon heels. You find ladies now, sometimes I see somebody wearing that thing and I'm like, are you the one walking or is the shoe that is walking? Both of you, who is walking? Like, are you the one walking or is the shoe that is walking? Because one of my neighbors own, I heard it the other day. I was like, Mama, if I climb on this thing, I'll just remain in one position. Like, people would think that I have leg problem because heavy, like very, very heavy. Like, how do you even walk with it? But these are the things. These are the things that our mothers wore. And let's say if you take us 5 years back and you wore that, somebody will be looking at you like, what? Like, are you okay? Like, what's old fashioned? But now old fashion is the fashion. Like, somebody is looking at you like, wow, you look amazing in that. I remember there's this you know, Christmas time, there's this suit, I call it suit, I don't know if I should call it coat. No, it's not suit, it's coat. You know, there's coat and then there's suit. So there's this coat and this skirt that my mom bought for me. Sincerely speaking, I wore that dress only on Xmas Day. I think it was around 15, 16, if I'm not mistaken. I wore it only on Xmas Day. I hated that dress. I kept it since she usually checks our stuffs, like if you should check, okay, where is this other one? So I just kept it. I was not wearing it. Do you know that the other day I rocked it? I rocked it. Don't ask me if I'm not growing. It was big. Yes, and she told me that when I'm growing, I'll be wearing it. It was big. You needed to see me in it by the time. Just imagine that a dress that I wore when I was 15 years, I could wear it now. I know, right? It was big. And according to her, let me just be wearing it when I grow. I rocked it the other day at what event like that, and that's how everybody was like, Rita, you look good. So who will tell these people that I rejected this thing 10 years ago? Who will tell them that I rejected it? And I did not even want to even see it. Like, I just probably kept it in my box because, well, it's one of those things that she was like, okay, she bought it, it was expensive and I should keep it well. So with me that I don't really know how to choose, I just kept it like, okay, no problem. And I saw somebody wearing that same dress. I was like, okay, so I can rock it. You needed to see me. Anyways, away from that, let's now talk did you know page this morning. And yes, talking about did you know this morning, we'll be finding out some interesting facts on our did you know page this morning. Okay, so we are beginning with the first of our did you know this morning, and we are going to, it is throwback, so we are starting with a throwback, something like something to remind us. So fact of the day, oh my g, like this one really got me thinking, and it was really interesting. So did you know before alarm clocks were invented, there were knocker ups who went tapping on clients' windows with long sticks until they were awake? Like before the arrival of alarm clocks, there were knocker ups who went tapping on clients' windows with long sticks until they were awake. Practically, there was somebody, they called them knocker ups. These persons walked up to the client's windows, probably like, let's say if in the hotel or whatever the case may be, and had to use the stick to hit several times before they could wake up. Imagine the stress. Thank God for technology. Thank God for development. Jeez, like just imagine, okay, like you would not sleep, you have to come be waking up somebody. Okay, that we can even understand that one, because PAs almost do the same job. Like they sleep. If you're a PA, personal assistant to somebody, or if you are as an assistant or a house help or what, yeah, persons like that, they do stuff like that. Probably you have to go wake up your master, or you have to go wake up your boss in the morning, like, okay, it's time. That's your part of your job description. So by the time you know that you're supposed to wake up at 5, my dear, you are already up by 4:30, because you are not sleeping. You are now doing the job of a knocker up back then in 1980. Okay, or is it 1880? We move over to the next one, and this time around we are telling you the Eiffel Tower was the world's tallest structure for over 41 years. That's a long time before, you know, Burj Khalifa came and the others. So just so you know, the Eiffel Tower was the world's tallest structure for over 41 years, as in 41 years down the line. The Eiffel Tower was the world's tallest structure for over 41 years. And imagine, like, I'm just thinking, sometimes I think of, because one of the things I'm really pretty scared of, I don't know about you people, but me, I see me and height. Me and height, we are not friends. Like literally, we are not friends at all. So I'm really scared of height. And if I have to be in a place where there's height, it should not be too much, because me, I'll literally just close my eyes and focus on something else, not just look at where the height is, or not just look at, because if I look at it, probably you will not see me there. I'll be running. Okay, so we move over to the next one, and this time around we are talking about ketchup. This when I saw this, really funny, that ketchup, this ketchup that we know, and that ketchup was firstly used in the 1830s as medicine. That they gave it as medicine for digestion. Ketchup, I think most people know ketchup. It's you know, they use it to eat, maybe, you know, it's like a complement for, like how you have mayonnaise, pepper and the other. Some people, ketchup, is made with tomatoes and all of that. So if you didn't know, just imagine that ketchup in the 1830s was served as medicine for digestion. What were these guys thinking? Like, really, medicine? Are we serious? It could be, probably they thought about it that way, and that's how they were using it. So if you didn't know, just know now that ketchup was firstly used as a medicine in the 1830s. Okay, we move over to the next one this morning, and this time around we are talking about something else. Yeah, so in Oklahoma, it is illegal to take a bite of someone else's hamburger. Yeah, it is illegal in Oklahoma. It is illegal to take a bite of someone else's hamburger. Jeez, I just imagine that I was in this place. Probably I'll be in prison by now, because they must have locked me up. You know, all like when you're in, Cameroonians are very free. Like somebody just walks in on you and you're maybe taking your meal, the person just looks for a spoon, especially if you people are close, or let's say your friends per se. The person doesn't even ask you, like, just go and look for a spoon. Mama, this is your food there. When did you prepare it? And the person is already eating. So they are telling us this morning that if you didn't know, just know that in Oklahoma, it is illegal to take a bite of someone else's hamburger. My G's. Do you remember, like, back in the day, somebody just eats and you be like, my friend, please for small now, please for small. Then the person will come like, okay, come and bite this part, bite this part. If you're not done things like that, then please, you have skipped stage. So we move over to the next one this morning, and this time around we are talking about something else. And it says almost 90% of people start making up scenarios in their heads that most likely will never happen right before they fall asleep. Almost 90% of people start making scenarios in their head. Almost 90% of people start making scenarios in their heads that most likely will never happen right before falling asleep. Can you imagine? Like, it will not happen. Yes, okay, let's say, you know, sometimes before you go to bed, you have to give yourself, for those who are always with their phones, probably they fall asleep without even knowing, and then their phone just falls at one end and then they fall asleep. Okay, for those who literally keep the phone aside and be like, okay, now I want to fall asleep, like I want to go to bed, you know, you need to take time. There are people who take time to go to bed, and there are people who don't take time to go to bed. For example, there are persons who need like 7 minutes, approximately the normal, I think the time that you need to actually close your eyes and fall asleep, I think is about 7 minutes. If it's above that, if 7 minutes passes and you've not yet been able to go to bed, then probably you're having a bad night, or you're having insomnia, or something like that. So probably that night sleep is far from you, and you're also far from sleep. But normally 7 minutes, eyes closed, you are supposed to have gone to bed. And now they're telling us this morning that, if you didn't know, that almost 90% of people start making up scenarios in their heads that most likely will never happen. So that 7 minutes, during that 7 minutes, you're thinking rubbish. Imagine you're in Cameroon, you're just thinking that you have a duplex in the USA, or probably you have you have this very big mansion, or you're riding the latest version of Range Rover. You start thinking of things. You start building an empire in your mind. Like, most of the times, that period, you're thinking rubbish. In fact, you're just seeing yourself, like, you imagine things, and then maybe you start thinking, maybe something had happened before, you start thinking about the thing, and then you're like, what if I had done like this, or what if this happened? So there's a lot of thoughts going through your mind, and sometimes it's the thoughts that make you to fall asleep, because there's one that you think of and you can't really understand why you're even thinking about that, or probably you're just having a long thought, and sometimes you can't even put them together. So in the midst of that confusion, that is how you fall asleep. And guess what happens? Most of the times, what we think the last before going to bed, we have it in our dreams. So if you probably like watch a horror movie and you were thinking about this man that was hitting this child, or killing people in the movie, you go to bed and you have a dream of probably somebody dead or something, and you start hearing, I have a revelation, my dear, is what you were thinking before you went to bed. That's what's playing in your mind, because those were your last thoughts before going to bed. And so if you're thinking bought a car, let's say the last the latest edition of Range Rover, and then you see yourself inside one Range Rover, but in reality, my dear, maybe if then I don't, this particular one, oh, it has happened to me a couple of times. You go to bed, probably before going to bed, you're thinking about, you know, your finances, you need money for this, you need money for that, and you've been giving money in a certain environment, or somebody gave you money. There was this day that I practically woke up and opened my pillow to see if the money was there. In fact, I had that like 2 times, my dear, and the money was not there as usual. That particular one pained me. There's this last one that really pained me, because this is how the scenario is. Let me just put this story. So now I was in this celebration. I don't know if it was my celebration or, but I was there, and people were, you know, throwing me money. That's how I was happy, because I remember, I think during that period I had a problem of, you know, a financial problem. So I was thinking of how to fix it before going to bed. So this is me in this occasion in my gym, and they are throwing me money. That's how I was so happy, picking money. I gathered the money like that bundle. I got put it under my pillow. I woke up in the morning and looked for the money. I did not see. Where did that money go to? Anyways, let's continue. So we are moving over to the next, and this time around we are saying, did you know, according to research by Harvard University, children who were hugged and cuddled more grew up to be happier adults? Yeah, children who were hugged and cuddled more grew up to be happier adults. They say train a child in a way he will grow, and when he grows he will not depart from it. Show the children love. A child already knows that. I really find it so fun and amazing and loving when I see children care for people. Like there was this time, I think I was in the hospital, and then I was really in pains, and then this child woke up to me, and the child was like, Auntie Ashia, what's happening? Do you want to drink water? That's how I looked at the child. I was like, okay, this is a new one. Like the child already has compassion depending on the environment. So the environment that the child grows up to also is very, very important. That's why it really breaks my heart when I see parents or when I see adults fight beside children. We move over to the next. So did you know groking is an act of watching people eat food hoping they will offer you some? This one is funny. That one, groking is an act of watching people eat food hoping that they will offer you some. Really? Like you go to somebody's house and they are eating, and you're like, please, I will eat before I drink. Who has given you the food there? Who asked you who told you that they will give you the food? Before you are telling them that you will eat before you drink. Oh, they have even seen the drink. You will not take it. They are saying you eat before you drink. So if you didn't know, it's called groking. So it's the act of watching people eat hoping that they will give you some. My dear, worst case scenario if they don't give you. We move over to the last on our list today, and it says too much stress literally causes the human brain to freeze and shut down temporarily. Too much stress literally causes the human brain to freeze and shut down temporarily. So please take care of your mental health. We always talk about this. Take care of your mental health. It's very, very important that you guard your mental health. Yes, you don't want your brain to shut. Before you know it, you hear that you're having this headache, you're having that headache, and before you know it, it becomes a chronic one, and you are going to the hospital spending money. I always tell people the best way not to worry about something is not to think about it so much, because in my little age, what I've learned is that worry doesn't change anything. If something happens, try to see how you can fix it. If you spend your time being worried, it won't change anything. Like the most you can do is to look for solutions to that problem. But if you're there, you're thinking about the thing and you're only worried and you're not looking for solutions, my dear, then you end up, you know, stressing yourself and, you know, also endangering your mental health. And that was it for our Did You Know page this morning. So anyone who has been in an environment that he or she is suffering from groking, oh my gosh, I share for you. You know, watching people eat food and hoping that they will give you some, and I say worst case scenario and they don't end up giving you, it's a painful one. And once again, thanks for, you know, technology. At least we don't have to go and be eating people's windows so they can wake up. Thanks for technology. We have alarm clocks. We have, you know, there are so many. Your alarm is in your phone. There is a clock that has an alarm and on, and so many other things. I hope you enjoyed our page did you know this morning? And this time around, we are moving straight on to our topic of discussion. Yes, it's Throwback Thursday, and I just told you that I have this. I rocked this particular coat. It's not suit coat that my mom bought for me. I think 15, 16. I can't give the precise age, but I know it's probably like 10 years ago. And that's to tell you that it's a long time. Don't ask me how it sizes me. It was big when she bought it. Yes, and she told me that by the time I keep wearing it, it will size me. So our topic of discussion this morning is asking the question, how old is the oldest pair of shoes in your closet? Me, I think it should be 5 years. Yeah, 5 years if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, 5 years. Approximately 5 years. Yeah, that should be the oldest. That should be the old. That's I think that's how long a shoe has been in my closet, and it's still there. And worst case scenario, no worst case scenario, I feel like when you reach a certain age, your legs don't grow again because it still sizes me and I can still wear it. Yeah, so it's 5 years. And yes, I and you are about doing catching our bread. Yes, I want you to get, comfortably seated so you can contribute to our topic of discussion. And yes, we are streaming live on our YouTube channel. You can watch us there. Drop a comment on the comment section, and yes, there's a number on your screen. Do well to use it. Let's know where you're watching us from and tell us how long is that oldest pair of shoes in your closet. As for me, it's 5. I think if I check again, it should be more than that, but we'll find out later. Now we are about going to get the prices of the basic commodities we have around, and provisions and all of that. So we take on this, and when we come back, we discuss on our topic of discussion more. For una for studio, good morning for all una wey una dey watch high television. Una be all welcome for una favorite breakfast show, Gbamu. Now time this now wey we get for check wetin the trend. Yes, wetin the make boom and rounds for market. So for this, we don't come visit this our particular mommy wey be in charge for specialist for selling provision things. You know say thing wey they put for belle, thing wey they take wash while clothes and day, thing wey they take chop. It always be important. It always trend. It always boom. So today we dey for this mommy shop. It go tell you the different prices, the recent prices them, and why some prices of something they don't add, why the others they don't reduce. Follow me, make we go see this mommy where go give us in total and plenty thing them about what commodities they will buy and for chop. Good morning, mom.
Yeah, when I welcome. Good morning.
Okay, mom, na pleasure for we for be here. As we be earlier tell na televiewers we dey now with this particular mommy Bridget. This was fine mommy where get provision shop for. It is say different things for corner Guinness day for Moliko. Today, so mommy go tell us plenty thing there. He go give me prices for things them more. Una sharp, una ear, una take una pen and paper as mommy go tell us plenty thing them.
And provision store where I just open them. It don't make 1 year, 8 months. The business it goes small. I say fine thing there inside. If you get mayonnaise, if you get Ovaltine, if you get Nido biggest one, if you get Dolac, if you get bully milk, if you get Martina for make tea for picking them.
Alright, mommy.
Yes.
So with the see different wine now for year, I feel actually know. I want to ask, who say you buy your own wine there?
I buy wine for Douala.
Okay, you buy wine for Douala.
Yes.
Okay, for wine export.
For machine boppy.
From machine boppy.
Now so thing they don't dare. I first get another shop for class quarter. Now that shop for class quarter I don't say for 8 years. But the one don't be now 1 year, 8 months. But now they so thing they don't dare. Prices they don't add. So as the one the way they don't put their price 3, 5, 4, 5. Now small gain the day on top like 250. On top for the buying price 5.
Okay, mom. I dey actually see bag rice every year. You just say a small bag rice and a big bag rice.
Yeah, small bag rice dey before then 11,500, 12,000, 12,500. Now so prices dey just go up for rice. Now the bag rice dem Jindong e dey na 4,500, 14,500. With the bare green na 14,500 wey dey na. Cheap rice na the one like white lily wey dey fit get am for 13,500. Then bijou gold is na perfume rice, but e price na 18,000 to 20,000.
Okay, mommy, you dey sell them in bulk or?
I dey sell thing in bulk, like if you wan buy 5 bag rice, 10 bag rice, I fit still sell am, but no be all thing wey I dey sell am in bulk. Plenty thing there wey you don comot Douala come, plenty thing there you put thing there na only for retainer. But when man want the carton groundnut oil, I fit still sell am for wholesale price. Yes, the one I dey make am for just support the market. Frying corn and groundnut, I put am for bottle so that may dey fine with the peanut with coconut sweet.
Okay, so now how much?
Na 600 for this small bottle, but peanut na 800.
Okay, peanut na 800. Okay, mom, so you learn all these things so you make am.
So as I be wan open that shop for class quarters, I be first dey sell na this thing dem with fruit. Na market that way I comot Bamenda, I be dey sell am for here for Buea for class quarter. So I don stay for class quarter for long where they sell fruit before I start enter now for provision store small I before put na container store. From there they can't drive all man say they no want container for road before they build that store them before I get stuff there. I start make provision store.
Oh, now you dey
When you buy for Douala, you know say you buy the carton wine and so you will calculate and say they give me for this price. You check and say one cost na so before you make this price. Then now you add even a 250 on top of 500
okay,
for
so
each.
Yes.
Yes.
And then now as you dey put am now, you dey put that price, that paper for that price the way you go mama.
I dey buy am.
Okay, then you put the price and now for help yourself so me no forget.
Yes, I dey put and I say for help myself if I want forget price for someone, and most time then I get picking the small picking they say for here. One they go university, one they still dey secondary school. When they come now, they no fit make mistake. The one where they no know am, they call, they ask am.
So mommy, I hear say you say go
All man no price or something because you before go market, you see how price they dey for market, then you know say the one for store na 50 francs a day. So all Cameroonian they don't get sense. Man they just buy something now so say no. As they don't talk so now, you price that you must work out for check and say to feel the thing at the price. I don't dey for 8 years, going to 9 years.
So for that 8 years, you don't dey how the business don't be.
No.
The challenges the way don't face on.
Kind challenge, especially for Bongo Square. They go bring plenty book. Oh, when I pay this dollar fare. Oh, when I know they pack egg fry for tray. The one these people they don't come, they check expiring date. Sometimes they go come up and say they check now. Price control they would spend. So difficult in that day, if man no get hard, he just struggle. So he say no, I know they do me the business because you will ever require, you will ever vex. And the first can't see with day, especially this time now, so we don't buy. The first can't see with for them and say some people they will just come and say they come on and limbe. They come on and someone last come for they say come on right for you when they would can't check now this thing, this. They force you. So now we too don't get sense. When you come so we tell you say identify yourself. So that move shows say now people they send them for make the worker check control for something. Because when they make a so they go they force you to give them money or they carry a thing they go.
Okay, ma'am. So
I ever come by for my shop for Moriko, I they sell fine things for good prices. Good morning, Hi TV. My name is Mami Bridget. I get provision store for Moriko for corner Guinness, Gbamu.
Okay, my dear viewers, my all people there that they watch High TV. Now, so the matter be, and also I hope say you don't see plenty in the way Mommy Bridget get for give now. And if you want buy, you know, so if you can buy for Mommy Bridget, of course, we corner the next depot for here. Mommy Bridget is say fine thing the way if you can buy for the. I hope say you don't learn prices for some certain things. You don't know why prices for some certain things and don't actually add. Thank una very much for watch this particular edition, this particular slot for una favorite morning show. Back to you in the studio.
Many thanks, Aisha Mbeng, for that wonderful one day. And yes, talking about the prices of basic commodities, I keep on asking myself, like, where are we and how did we get here? But what can be done? That's the question. What can be done to, you know, solve this crisis? Because it is a crisis. It's an economic crisis that we are facing. Moving from, you know, buying something for 50 francs to 100 francs, like, just, you don't even know when it got to 75 francs now before 100 francs. Like, these days prices don't add by 25 francs. We used to hear prices add, we hear 35, but since we cannot find 35 francs, or we hear, but even the 25 francs that we have in the market, prices don't add as such. It's just 50, 100. Like, one time you buy something for 150 francs, the next time you're going to the market is 200 francs. So some of those men that before they give their wives money, they start calculating it. Okay, so you go to the market, you buy garri for 1,000, you buy meat for 2,000, you buy this one, I think 5,000 will be enough. When you get to that market, there are times that it's like a surprise package. Everything, you say that, okay, how much is my bill? 2,000, whereas you know that you bought for 1,500, because the small 50 and the 100 has done what? It has been added to all the food stuff that you bought, or the items that you bought, and before you realize it, instead of you spending 7,000 francs or 8,000 francs to purchase things, you're spending the 10,000 francs, you're spending 12,000 francs, and that is it. So the question is, where are we going to? Prices are increases, salary is not increasing, remuneration is not increasing, we are still here and we still have to pay. And then the one that is really paining me these days, I don't know how I'm going to do with it, is taxi fare. Like, when did we reach here now? It's really painful. The places that we normally used to pay 200 francs to go to, now you enter a taxi, they tell you 250. And probably it's like all the drivers union in Buea have decided that it's either 250 or nothing. So by the time you say I have 200 in 500, they tell you no, it's 250. By the time you say 1,000, they tell you no, it's even 300. No, not to even talk of you holding 2,000. Just know that you need to add an extra 50 or an extra 100 to the normal fare that you have to pay. And now it's almost a thing of bargaining. So by the time you stand on the road and you're going to a place, you don't just want to stress, my dear, just call your 250. But by the time you start calling 200, like, more than 10 taxis are going to pass you by. So just call, just be on a safe side and say, okay, I have 250 in 500 or in 1,000 francs. It's better that way. You save yourself the stress of, you know, having to break different taxis. Sometimes I even just call 300, especially on those days that I'm really in a haste. I don't stress myself. I just say 300 francs because I know that by the time you're adding the money, the earlier you add the money, the better for you to leave that place. But by the time you're there 200, my dear, you break like 7, 10. And then worst days, if the market was even bad for some of them, you sleep on that road. So just better go the 250 way and save yourself the stress. Yes, back to our topic of discussion this morning, and we are asking the question, how old is the oldest pair of shoes in your closet? Mine, I said, it's 5 years, but if I check well, maybe it can be 7 or 6. Don't ask me how come it still fits me. But I know that if you reach a certain age, probably your shoes are supposed to stop size, like maybe your feet, according to what I've heard, that your feet stop growing. Is that true? I don't know, but maybe that's why it still sizes me. Yeah, so let us know about yours. Don't tell me yours is 10 years or 15. It could be more. Yeah, and sometimes we keep these things for our younger ones, yeah, because our parents kept some of them for us too. Yeah, my mom would say, okay, I wore this shoe when I was 20 years old. As in, Mama, where did you keep the shoe now? Like, how did you do it? And those things of those times, so strong. Okay, so let us know where you're watching us from, and you can drop a comment on our comment section on our YouTube channel. You can also send us a WhatsApp message via the number on your screen. Right about now, we are going to take on a musical break, and when we come back, we will be finding out what's going on in the newspaper stands.
Jaja Fresh.
Welcome back, and yes, we are still beaming live. We are still streaming live in the studios of High Television Malingo Buea. And if you just tuned in, you are onto the breakfast show at High Television. And yes, we are about taking something different this morning. We have been talking about our topic of discussion, which happens to be how old is the oldest pair of shoes in your closet. And I just gave you mine, 5 years. Quite long, I know, right? And yes, this time around we are talking something else, and like I promised you, when we come back, we'll be talking the newspapers with Larry Etengene. Good morning, Larry.
Good morning to you, Rita Mufani. Good morning to all our viewers. Good morning to everyone.
How are you doing this morning?
It's a beautiful morning. The sun is up and the weather is bright.
Yeah, it's a sunny Thursday morning, and that's to say nature is for us. Nature has decided to, give us the go ahead on anything that we want to do today. So it's a bright day. I hope it's equally bright on your side.
Definitely.
Yeah, okay. So what are the newspapers saying?
Well, the newspapers for today are talking on the November session of Parliament, as many titles that as the session of financial scandals in Cameroon. One of them, one of the publishers of the papers, that is a Guardian Post publisher, who was arrested yesterday and taken to the SET head office in Yaoundé for a purported misguided front page that was done by, I can say, enemies or separatists. Will see, according to that front page, it titles that as military confesses that they were the ones behind the Mamfi arson attack, the Mamfi carnage, not even an arson attack. So Christian Guy is still at SET right up to this morning. He was picked up yesterday at the Guardian Post head office in Yaoundé, and for that publication, which he is not the one, according to the Guardian Post. So those are some of the things we're looking for today.
Okay.
Hey there, televiewers of High Television, you're welcome to the paper review segment with me, Larry Kevin, about this Thursday morning of 9 November 2023. We start off with the Guardian Post. The Guardian Post for today have as lead story intimidation muscling. The Guardian Post publisher arrested over fake cover page of newspaper. That is what you can find on the Guardian Post for today, as Christian Ga was arrested yesterday by the forces of law and order, and he is currently being detained at the SET head office in Yaoundé. In that set, the Guardian Post, they talk on the editorial. It says Mamfi massacre, living together, mourning in division. That is what you can find on the Guardian Post for this morning. We'll move now to quotidian emergence. Quotidian emergence, okay, that is still the Guardian Post. It will take you now to this other story on the said Guardian Post. It says persistent faking of the Guardian Post. We are paying the price of being the most credible, most popular English language newspaper. That is what the publisher Christian Ganga talks on that set paper for today. We'll move now to quotidian emergence for today. Quotidian emergence talks of the Mamfi massacre. The paper captions that as interrogation returns to commentary of the authors of that macabre act in Egbeko. We'll move over to violence. In the paper talks of violence across the country. It says what should be done in order to better prepare Cameroonians. You can find that story on that said publication for today. The reporter of Tenek Lucas for this morning reports SDF bleeds at Buea's 41st anniversary in power. Former Toko mayor, over 200 militants, they come to CPDM in Dian. Children, and this other story, it says children with disabilities in Cambe benefit from Sister Speak 237 large chairs. We'll take you now to this other story that talks of at 41st anniversary of Paul Bia's ascension to power. Focalitus Gentry redefines development paths in Ako and Messager localities of Ndongamantung division. We take you now to the next publication, that is La Meteo. La Meteo for today reports of Atanganji magnifies Paul Bia's 41st anniversary of realization as Cameroon's president, as reported to us by La Meteo for today. And for Martin for this morning talks of Leke division of the central region. It says a kilogram of cocoa now sold at 2,015 francs. Rita Mafani Mojoko, I think that is something you should get into, as cocoa prices is now having as 2,015 francs per kilo in the locality of Leke division. Municipal updates of Victor Cham for today talks of Mamfi massacre. Bia condemns, condoles. You can find that story on that said paper. Limbe City Mayor Paul Efomengale wins Best City Mayor Awards. We'll move over to Kumba. It says CPT Mayor 1B makes strong case for Bia's ahead of 2025 presidential polls, and celebrations of the 41st anniversary in power of President Paul Biya in Belo. CPDM rallies behind the head of state. Get to read more on the pages of municipal updates for today. Defi Actual for today report on financing. It says the BGFI Bank Cameroon supports Cam Water in the supply of potable water, as the General Manager of BGFI Bank actually came out that's Mufad Hakim came out to support Blaise Musa of Calm Water. We'll take you to e-reputation. It says the financial value of Francis Ngannou now stands at 6.5 billion CFA francs after 7 days of that fight in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. Sporting infrastructures, the paper give a balance sheet of the Olympic Sports Complex that work have resumed there in Yaoundé. Get with that story on that set publication for this morning. Louis Echo for this day talks of the elite of the CPDM party in the West region who plays with Paul Biya on his 41st anniversary day. We take you now to Bajan, who turns the page as His Majesty Chopper David the life of the king and the death of the king and the resurrection of another. Get to read that said story from the paper from Bafusam. And for our show for this morning talks of the Fally Ipupa invitation to headline the Camtel the Camtel festival that will be coming up in the month of December. It says Kofi Olumide charges Lady Pons on her outing on social media, who condemns the gesture of Fally Ipupa to headline that concert. We take you to the Ministry of Public Works now, who explored several routes construction. Get to read that story for today. Moving over to the Horizon. The Horizon says charm by PM's John Gute Goodies to Nzian. Over 200 CPDM, over 200 SDF militants they come to CPDM. That is what you can read on that said publication for the elite militants applaud Biam. We take you to talk something else. Sonora holds 83.2% of public enterprises external debt of September 2023. Meanwhile, Ojrapo of Karotamba for today talks of bodybuilding. It says Cameroon on the international scene. You can find that bodybuilding competition that unfolded the other day. We move over to the increase of fuel or hydrocarbon products. The paper reports on how the government resists the proposition of the International Monetary Fund, the IMF. Taking you now to Le Point. Le Point for today comes back to the Egbeko carnage in Mamfe. It says carnage at Egbeko, elite and population accessories. That is what you can find on that set publication of Le Point for today. We take you to the candidature of President Paul Biya. The paper titles that as a hypocrisy of some CPDM militants who are calling on the 90-year-old to have another mandate come 2025. We move away from that publication. We take you now to the next paper, La Voix du Jeune. La Voix du Jeune talks of the price of excellence. It says anger at COP. You can find that story on that said publication for this morning. The Punch newspaper for this day says off-season polls, election. The paper reports as electronic collation illegal, says the Nigerian Independent Electoral Commission INEC. Please warn NLC. With that said paper of the Punch says Obi faults Tinubu's 2.17 trillion supplementary budget. And we take you to this other one that talks of 51 billion US dollars the federal government use dwindling revenue. Reps condemn needless loan contracts. You can find these stories and more on the pages of the Punch for today. The Nation, another sister publication from Nigeria, reports on Senate House agreement raises student loan to 10 billion naira. We'll move over to this one that talks of Power Minister threatens discourse on Gen course with license renovation. We'll move over to this other story that says survey projects Ozima's victory with 68% of votes. That is the Imo State gubernatorial elections that will be coming up this Saturday in the southeastern part of Nigeria. Mutation for this morning reports on the National Assembly, the session of financial scandals. You can find that story on that set paper of Terry Diagram. Against the fight against poverty, the paper talks on Focalitus Gentry matches what with action in Misaje of Ndonga Mantung division of the Northwest region. Let's move over now to the Innovation newspaper report on the Council of Banking. It says 270 5 million CFA francs for the construction of 2 social housing scheme of that council in that part of the country. We take you to the week of education and media. It says the European Union ambassador to Cameroon closes the ceremony that took place in Yaoundé. And we'll move over to the cooperation ties between Cameroon and Canada. It says at Paul Atsanganji received the Canadian High Commissioner to Cameroon, Lauren Anderson, in his office. You can find more on Innovation newspaper for today. Away from Innovation newspaper, we take a depth with late Temwen. The Temwen talks of the culture of cocoa. He says a business that have now come out to be quite profitable, as a kilogram of cocoa now sells at 2,015 francs in the Leke division. Cooperation ties between Cameroon and Italy. It talks of the extractive industry and the win-win situation of Italy and Cameroon. You can find that story on that said publication for this morning. We'll move over to Quotidian Economy for today. It talks of Valentin Bozo. He says the system of payment system of instant payment needs to be revitalized across the continent of Africa, as the future is now digital. We'll take you to Bachanga. It says a kilogram of cocoa too in Bachanga sells at 2015 francs CFA. Let's move over to the campaign of agriculture, as the rice sector in the country is gaining steam. The paper reports on 19.4 billion CFA francs for the project of Viva Logon to make sure the cultivation of rice in the Logon division of the Far North region gets more boost. You can find that story on that said publication for this morning. We take a bow with this last paper on a newsstands, that is Echo du Parlement. Echo du Parlement report on the November 6th anniversary of President Paul Biya. His Majesty Senator Fon Ekoka Mokete, the photo of Kumba, sends message of gratitude, support to President Paul Biya. And in that said publication, Honorable Jean-Jacques Nzam comes out with the political agenda. Get to read more and others on the newspapers you can find of your choice on the various newsstands for this morning. Viewers and Rita, this is what we'll take about on this edition of the press review on Gbamu. Back to you, Mafani.
Thank you so much. And we were just talking this morning about the increase in prices of basic commodities, and I could hear you talk about cocoa, the increase in price of cocoa, as in 2015 francs
per kilogram.
That's really huge compared to, I think it was at 1,000 francs plus, if I'm not mistaken.
It used to be 500, from 500 it rose to 800. Surprisingly we got to 1,000 now, and we are getting that in some parts of the country. It now sells at 2,015 francs.
What's really happening? I think the crisis is really dealing with us, because fewer persons are going to the farms. Fewer persons are cultivating, fewer persons are harvesting. Even those who have cultivated, probably insecurity comes and they can no longer move to the farms to harvest. Those who had to plant could no longer plant because probably they had to migrate. It's really dealing with us. It's really dealing with us, and I think the economic sector is really suffering. And as the saying goes, when the elephants fight, the grasses suffer.
Definitely, we
are the ones suffering at this point in time, because I was telling the viewers this morning that prices keep increasing and salary doesn't increase. We don't have an increment in salary, but something you bought yesterday 1,000 francs, next week you're going to the market, it's 2,000 francs or 8,500 francs. It's really disheartening, I must say. Thank you so much for the updates.
Thank you, sir. And
yes, we are moving straight away onto our topic of discussion this morning. Larry, I'm just looking at your pair of shoes.
This is what we call
this my goodness. It looks cowboyish.
Yeah.
Oh, I like it.
Thank you.
Okay, so quick one. How old is the oldest pair of shoes in your closet?
My oldest pair of shoe was this pair of shoe. They call it Sebago or Sebago. Yeah, that's Sebago. When I got to high school, that was when they got me that Sebago. I used that Sebago throughout my university days, from first year right up to my graduation from the University of Buea, and later on went back working and came back to school for postgraduate studies. That Sebago was still there. Guess what? It was just last year that I threw that Sebago.
Jeez,
I said
that's like 15 years.
Well, come on, instead of what they say in French, trop c'est trop, as in no, trop c'est trop.
It's enough.
Yeah, so that is it. I used that Sebago, I can say close to 10 or so years. You can imagine. And the thing was like never non-aging.
Yeah, it didn't get bad.
Yes, it was just a non-static, as if you just bought it last year. But that's something that I've been using for a couple of years. You can imagine. It's quite.
And I was telling our viewers, mine is 5 years. But if I think and think again, I think it's about 7 years, because I mean, there's this heels, like I think that was my first pair of heels I ever bought. It has been there for a very long time.
What
like,
they call in kosh.
Yeah, oh my goodness. And it's when something of, let's say, a throwback event comes, and then I take it. That's the only environment where I feel free to wear it, because if I wear it and come here, people will be asking me if I'm really doing throwback. Okay. But it's been there for a long time, and I can literally walk with it on the streets of Street 2, you know, with all the stones and all of that. Thank you so much, Larry, for coming.
Thank you for having me.
It has been an amazing time. Okay, this time around we are diving towards something else this morning, and yes, we have been talking our topic of discussion, and this time around we are about finding out what else is in the streets of Moliko and who is doing what, as far as you know, making ends meet, and also, you know, doing something to put food on the table. Not just doing something to put food on the table, but doing it consistently and amazingly. Let us find out from this lady who has taken fruits to be a source of income, of livelihood to her.
Mrs. Waneri Elizabeth. I'm a Nigerian. I'm here almost close to 20-something years. And for now, since I started the business, I'm in the business for about 15 years now. Is helping me and my family. It is supportive for us, and my children and my husband are helping to make sure that the business is moving forward. I sell fruits like watermelon, pineapple, oranges, lemon, limes, carrots, beetroot, pawpaw, bananas, and the rest, etc. I open in the morning and close in the evening. And faces that when the fruit got bad, then I will carry some losses. Yes, but when it moves forward, there will be no problem.
Many thanks to Uncle D for that. And yes, we are about talking something else this morning, still lingering around our topic of discussion. But then again, talking about fruits, yeah, you could see the different fruits there, and it's really amazing to know that someone is doing, making a living out of it. You could see all the fruits there. It's really a dangerous market, I should say, and I have witnessed before, but it's one of the most lucrative and profit making. Yes, because yeah, it's not like it's a perishable good, and it's not like the dresses or the shoes or the bags that you could keep for a very long period of time. Some of those fruits, if they are more than 3 days and not properly stored, what happens? It gets bad. Imagine you buying a bowl of oranges or a basket of mangoes, and before you could realize, all of them are bad. That's like income wasted. It's a profitable business, but very dangerous. If you haven't studied it well, then I won't advise you to venture into it, because before you know it, in the twinkle of an eye, you must have lost all the money you invested in the business. So it's advisable for you to study the markets very well, and also know how the fruits can be preserved or stored before you go into the business. Imagine you buying 5, let's say 10 watermelons, and all of them are bad, or all of them end up getting bad. That's a lot of money down the drain if you had to slice and resell. Or even the oranges and pear. Avocado is out there, pear is out there, and it's one of those, also it's one of those really good businesses too, because persons love pear. They say pear goes with everything, and Cameroonians, I know there's nothing we have not eaten. Pear cassava, pear bobolo, pear rice, pear plantain, everything we can consume with avocado. You find it in occasions, you find it, they use it to do salad, they make salad with it and all of that. So it's one of those also, fruits that really sell. But if it's not well kept, today probably they are not yet ripe, and tomorrow they are ripe, they get bad. So it's profitable, but very dangerous. So those who admire it, it's good to have a knowledge of it, study the markets very well before you venture into it. And yes, we are still talking about our topic of discussion this morning, and like I told you earlier, we are streaming live on our YouTube channel, and this morning we are asking, what is the oldest pair of shoes in your closet? What do you think? Larry says his has been for like 10 years, and this reminds me of this pair of shoes that I had back then in secondary school. There's this friend of mine, we usually call him Junior. That guy, there is mocassette. I think I wore that shoe for about 3 years, if I'm not mistaken. That's from 3, from 4, from 5, or is it opposite, lower seat? Yeah, I wore that to tell you how strong. I don't know the markets our parents used to go to buy our shoes, but you wear one shoe and the shoe is looking at you. Practically you get tired of the shoe instead of the shoe getting bad. Like, you get tired of wearing it. And this guy, he practically gave me the name Mocassette. Junior, Junior started calling me Mocassette because I wore this shoe I think 2 years. Yeah, I was fortunately I happened to be one of those, come from one of those backgrounds where if something is given to you, then you have to take proper care of it, from your bags to your textbooks. I literally gave my textbooks out or sold them because everything is intact. By the time you misplace one, Mola Mafani, let me not even go there. But that's to tell you that it's advisable for you to keep stuffs, and it's the memory too. It's really amazing. I don't know what happened to that mocassette, but the long and short of the story is, there's this classmate of mine, Junior. He started calling me mocassette. I really hated him for that, and it was his own way of bullying me. When he just sees me, he'll be like, mocassette. I'm like, oh geez, what's happening here? So yes, how old is the oldest pair of shoes in your closet? That's our topic of discussion this morning. Let us know, at least let us laugh together. I've told you mine is like 7, 6, 5, I don't know, thereabouts, but it's been for a long time. Yeah, and I still can wear it. It's still there in my closet. And yes, this time around we are going to take on a musical break, and when we come back we talk sports.
J'aime
Monsieur Kobo, maman est moche. Aboubaka, c'est l'homme du match. Aboubaka, il a marqué. Aboubaka, c'est l'homme du match. Aboubaka, le capitaine. Allez le lion, allez gagner. Allez les lions, allez gagner. La canne est amère aïe, mais au camel la canne est sucrée. Le trophée tourne, au camel c'est calé. Au premier match on a piqué et gagné. Sambadi ça a commencé, l'écran Traoré a glissé. Bessan Aboubaka a tiré, et le gardien est tombé. C'est comme ça qu'on a marqué. Le copain il n'est pas encore fini. Nous, Tolo a jonglé, et on les fait tomber. Et c'est encore un penalty, et Aboubaka a encore marqué. Et le président a crié, et le Camerounais sont criés. Aboubaka, c'est l'homme du match. Aboubaka, il a marqué. Aboubaka, c'est l'homme du match. Aboubaka, le capitaine. Allez les lions, allez gagner. Allez les lions, allez gagner. Tout le Garoua est derrière vous, tout le Maroua est derrière vous, tout le Yaoundé est derrière vous, et tout le Cameroun est derrière vous. Tous les jours on prie pour vous, matin, midi, soir c'est pour vous. Tout ce qu'on fait c'est pour vous. Manger c'est pour vous, priver c'est pour vous, danser c'est pour vous, c'est pour vous. Deuxième match, match, on a cogné et gagné le match. Mon ami, pourquoi tout a dit, valait le statistique de match. Mike Collins a passé, Togo et Kabi a marqué. Mike Collins a encore passé, Bessan Aboubaka a marqué. Mominga Mole a passé, Aboubaka est encore marqué. Togo et Kamé a jonglé et marqué. Samuel Eto'o a crié, tout le monde aux a donc crié. Tout le Carrefour sont crié, tout le Camerounais sont crié. Aboubaka, c'est l'homme du match. Aboubaka, il a marqué. Aboubaka, c'est l'homme du match. Aboubaka, le capitaine. Allez le lion, allez gagner. Allez les lions, allez gagner. Total énergie, MTN, One is Bet, Orange Cameroun. Allez les lions, allez gagner. Allez les lions, allez gagner. Total énergie, MTN, One is Bet, Orange Cameroun. Total énergie, MTN, One is Bet, Orange Cameroun. Allez les lions, allez les lions.
On va les taper. On va les taper. On va les taper.
On est fou du foot. Allez, 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 allez. On dit que jouer parce que au Cameroun, la canne au Cameroun, la canne au Cameroun. Allez les lions, c'est la canne au Cameroun, la canne au Cameroun, la canne au Cameroun. Allez les lions. Affaire de canne, si là c'est très compliqué. Tous les pays d'Afrique vont dans se retrouver. De l'Égypte au Nigeria, en passant par le Gabon. Vous êtes les bienvenus, le Cameroun d'Abordon. Il va donc falloir être fort comme Patrick Mboma. Un légendaire comme Roger Mila. Vous êtes sélectionné, vous avez dans le niveau. Mais est-ce que vous êtes fort comme Samuel Eto'o? Quand le match est lancé, il n'y a plus de sentiment. Le buteur du moment, Aboubakar Vincent. Vous serez accueillis, mais si on gagne, c'est la famille. Ça reste la famille. Après Kele.
Les tarans ont porté les maillots, invité tous les bros d'à côté. Y'a le vert rouge jaune sur le drapeau et aussi les troupes pour motiver. Je porte le 10 Jupiter AV, tellement de vitesse c'est le TGV. Si t'es le boss c'est nous les PDG, tellement de coups d'avance sur le GMT. Dans la partie y'a les pharaons et aussi les lions de la Teranga. Les éléphants prêts pour le marathon, mais nous on reste les lions indomptables. On reçoit la canne, en faisant les fans, l'émotion, la passion attise la flamme. Ne fais pas semblant, tu vas Yamo même étant dans ta cam.
On dit que jouer parce que on dit que marquer parce que c'est la canne au Cameroun, la canne au Cameroun, la canne au Cameroun. Allez les lions, c'est la canne au Cameroun, la canne au Cameroun, la canne au Cameroun. Allez les lions.
Le ballon, il avance avec, il prend le ballon, oh, il avance avec, petit crochet devant, petit crochet derrière, petit passement, voilà le but, oh, c'est le but, voilà le but, oh, c'est le but, voilà le but, oh, c'est le but, rakatang koutang, tang tang tang, c'est le but, rakatang koutang, tang tang tang, allez les lions, rakatang koutang, tang tang tang, c'est le but, rakatang koutang, tang tang tang, allez les lions.
À tous nos footballeurs de l'équipe nationale du Cameroun, on compte sur vous pour remporter. C'est la voix du Sahel. Bill Steph la légende, Chico Pokam, Selanga et Mike Kid, Gbamu. Merci. Oh, 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 oh.
Welcome back, and yes, talking about amazing stuff that are happening. We are having a good time here. You know, so many activities ongoing in the streets of Moliko. I could basically get some from this end, and it's that's to tell you that everyone is on their feet, making sure that they get to do all they have to do to, you know, have the day going, have an amazing time, and also achieve that goal of theirs. And just so you know, today is the 9th. Yeah, to tell you we don't have time on our hands. This year is coming to an end, and we just have pretty few weeks to go. I'll call it few weeks, because I think we are entering the 2nd week of November already, and that's to tell you that time waits for nobody. If you told somebody, okay, I would see what to do about your situation by the end of the year, my dear, is already the end of the year. And the question is, have you been able to look at that person? Are you going to be able to meet up to your promises? How true are you going to stay to your words. And that's why I told someone one time, I don't like promises. Don't make a promise. I prefer to go with the surprise. Don't tell me okay, I'm going to see what to do, or I'm going to send you money. Most especially, that one is very, very annoying. Like, why should you promise me money? I sit on my own and you come and promise me money and you don't end up sending the money. Don't promise me. Let me just wake up in the morning and I see an alert and you're like, have you seen the alert? Like, have you received anything in your momo? Not that I sit on my own quietly, jeje. You come and ask me, Rita, I will see what I can do to send you something this weekend. Why are you promising me? Don't promise me, especially when I don't ask. Yeah, if I told you, okay, I'm having this issue, like, don't promise. Who else shares this, this pain with me? Like, the fact that somebody just promised you, you keep on thinking about this thing, like, you keep on thinking about it. So it's better not to give the promises. Don't promise. Like, just go ahead. If you have to surprise someone, just go ahead and surprise the person. Give that person the surprise. Don't, one thing you are like, okay, yes, I want to do this for you, and the next thing is the person is not, you're nowhere to be found. They say the person who said I should call them if I need anything, the number is not going through. Is it MTN, or are you the cause of that? Are we to blame you for that? Yes, our topic of discussion is still right there on your screen, and yes, we are still asking the question, how old is your oldest pair of shoes? How old is it? And away from our topic of discussion, it has been an amazing time in your company, I must say. Getting to find out certain interesting aspects on our Did You Know page has really kept us this morning, and also concerning fruits and all the other things. So it's amazing to know that we can share in one way or the other. Yes, I'm talking about prices of basic commodities. Like I told you this morning already, please, if you're about to step out of the house, just prepare your 500 francs for a two-way transportation. I think we are slowly becoming like, it's slowly feeling like we are living in, I don't know, in another environment, because these days for you to leave your house, like just calculating transportation, it's like 1,000 francs. So only the thought of leaving your house and putting the transportation together scares. So this time around, I'm like, if you know that where you are calling me to will cost more than 200 francs, please don't call me, especially when there is no food. But if there is food, you can call me, I'll come and eat. But where there is no food, please don't, because just the thought of the transport, it's really, really heartbreaking. It really feels bad, because you end up spending a lot of money at the end of the day. And yes, like I told you, we have been talking about what is ongoing, and this time around I think we are going to shake our bodies a little bit. When we come back, we'll be wrapping up.
Move. Pour les quoi dans les croissants du secteur. OGM à la page. On dit Cameroun encore appelé Africa miniature. On y a mon bien noté, c'est pour ça de l'agriculture. On développe encore avec la pisciculture. On dit nous sommes alors venus vanter nos futurs. Du nord aussi de l'est à l'ouest à Cameroun uni. Réunification, cela impose harmonie. Nos talents sont sacrés, cela vient tout droit d'Afrique. Passe à pas le major, le sera dans vos souvenirs. Major couleur. Sous ma grille de griffes. C'est alors le monument. Mais bon, mes manifs, tout le monde les représenter. Attachez vos ceintures parce que ça vient de commencer. Avion de tel S, on tous comme des fusées. Mon aquata molé, quata n'en vient vous confirmer. Avec faut disposer. Ma plainte est rédigée, c'est ici que je la dépose pour pouvoir m'imposer. Les mêmes poètes à taper, le djembé est lancé. Pas de poète à chanter, le volet est commencé. Major couleur.
Welcome back, and yes, I just got this interesting interesting one here, and this person got me laughing before I could share with you guys. And the person says, Elela Gbamu to you in the studio. I'm B Wheels from Buea. My oldest pair of shoes is as old as the love my father has shown for me. I call it my papa, my papa. The shoes was given to me as a young boy, and it's over 20 years because it was very strong and it doesn't get bad. The head is facing up as to seek the face of God. Is he talking about, is he in a way talking about Pointinini? He said the head is facing up as to seek the face of God. Seriously? That's a funny one there. And then we also have another comment. The person says, good morning to you in the studio. Quite an interesting topic. I have one pair of shoes called All Star Milk. I wore the shoes for like 3 years or more. At that time, they manufacture good shoes that last for long, and our parents know what's good for us in those days as boys. And this is Nestor. Thank you so much for contributing. And yes, please, the person be Wheels, please, which one is the shoe is facing up as to seek the face of God? Is it Pointinini? Because we know, there's Pointinini and there's Pointinini. Anyways, thank you so much for contributing. And yes, we are about talking something else this morning, which is sports, and we have the sports lady in the building. Good morning, Sonita.
Good morning, Rita Mafani, and good morning once more to all the televiewers of High Television.
How are you doing this morning?
I'm good. Extremely good.
Okay, yeah. That's cool. I love the energy. That's how sometimes I wake up in the morning and I just wake up and I scream and I'm like, good morning, and my neighbors are like, okay, what's happening?
We are still sleeping.
Okay, so what are we going to be talking about sports today?
And yes, we are going to be looking at the very interesting games that took place all over the territories in terms of the MTN Elite 2 Championship. We are going to be revisiting the draws of the World Cup, as the friendlies, the qualifiers game are starting on the 17th of this month. It is good that we why not reiterate or remind sports lovers out there in which particular group it's Cameroon found in terms of the World Cup qualifiers for the World Cup's preparation. And I think that's a little bit of what we are going to be looking at this morning on the Elela Gbamu show. If Olivia Mafani says that take the die, then definitely will I take the die.
Yeah, just have it. It's yours.
This one that you are giving me with no condition. Am I safe?
Yes,
anyway, good morning once more to all the televiewers of High Television. And yes, good morning again. And yesterday we were at the Centenary Stadium where it was a class and a masterpiece of match that took place over there at the Centenary Stadium, where we had Ice of Hope Sports Academy whitewashed Rangers of Baffled 6 goals to 0. It was a magnificent game that one could why not outly say that it was Manchester City that was actually playing yesterday at the Centenary Stadium, where we had beautiful 2 goals from the early 5 minutes of this particular game from Njuman Conrad. Yes, Njuman Conrad is no longer with Victoria United, but right now he's putting on the green and the white, and that they call themselves the Royal Elephant. And to tell you that more of these things are he's going to be dishing in more of this particular games and goals in terms of his new side. We are going straight away to listen to the coach of Rangers. The coach of Rangers, who is actually telling us that there is some little bit of internal issues. Let's hear from the coach of Rangers as he says.
Going to back run of form. He's trying to work up with the guys, but nothing more than that. He's trying to work it up. So what's really the problem? I said we are moving to in a bad period. That's the thing I'm saying, in a bad period. We have other elements, I think when we fall and so
what is the first objective for Rangers this season?
Our objectives remain the same: to play to be among the first 4 and play for the playoff.
And yes, that was the coach of Rangers explaining why they had to pick up such a defeat. And mind you that Isosa is the only team that has given up to 6 goals in terms of the M10 Elite 2 Championship. And looking at the scorers, the 5 scorers that were in this particular encounter that stood tall, we are going to listen to some. Ashu Praise, the captain, who gave it a beautiful goal from the corner kick side, and equally Juma Kora, the brace scorer.
Yes, yes. Because throughout the week I've been working very, very hard, following all the instructions of the coach. Everything was very easy today because we united, a team spirit and teamwork. That is why we became victorious, and everything that the coach taught us, put it in place, and we can see that's paid. I would say again, any team in the Elite 2 is not an easy team. They played very well, but we're more united and stronger than them. That is why we became victorious. Yes. That is what I was praying for, to have a set piece in that certain area. And when it happened like that, I was very, very happy. I had confidence in myself that I'm going to put it inside and until it.
Pleasure. I'm really happy. Thank God Almighty for this opportunity. First goal for Isosa. Really glad to deliver the goods for the team and to help the team for victory. Yes, very much. We have been practicing in training. We have systems of play combinations that help us to understand how to finish. So it was a team effort. The goals that came was helpful. Communication from my friends like Tipu and Beng from the clan association to get the goals. Our objective, well, I accept that I would like to achieve something higher than the peak I had originally 2 years ago. So I need to keep working. We thank God for the victory, but the journey is still long. So we have to go back, think of the mistakes that we made, and try to elevate that correctly.
And he has more ambitions for the young lad, as he's telling his fans that he will continue to deliver his job. Away from that, we'll go straight away to look at the entire results for match day 4 of the M10 Elite 2 Championship that was played all over Cameroon, be it at the Bambali Stadium, be it at the Centenary Stadium, and be it at the West Region, the Littoral, the Central Region. We'll go straight away to look at those who picked up a victory, picked up a defeat in terms of this particular match day 4 of the MTN Elite 2 result, where we have Raseng of Bafusam. Raseng of Bafusam trashed Yafo 2 goals to nil. Unisport of Hunkam picked up a 1-1 draw against Egluwaya de Mongo, while Fonta Street walked through Renaissance of Gbamu with a 1 goals to nil. While Bavman United picked up a 2-2 tie against Tonnerre Calabar. Pool B sees RS of Yaoundé, RS FAP of Yaoundé picking up a 0-0 draw against Leopard Sportive of Douala. Eden Sport of the Likim defeated Ndiku FC on Banjul 1 goals to nil. And ISO Sports Academy whitewash Rangers of Bafut 6 goals to nil, while Panther Sportive of Ndip picked up a 2-0 defeat against Dragon. So far, those are the results. We'll go straight away to look at the standings in terms of this particular competition. Who is at the helm of which pool? Pool A sees Raseng of Bafusam with 7 points. Tonnerre Calabar 6 points. Yafood follows with 5 points. Egluwaya 5 points. And Unisport of Hunkam 4 points. Renaissance of Ngumu 4 points. Bafman United 3 points after 3 games played, picking up 3 draws. And Pool B of this part of the M10 Elite 2 standings says that it is Arsenal of Hope Sports Academy that is leading this particular pool with 10 points. And mind that this is the only club which is already having 10 points in terms of the standings, followed by Eden Sport of the Lake 9 points, Dragon FC 8 points, and Ndiku of Banjul 7 points. RS FAP of Yaoundé follows with 5 points. Panther of Inde 3 points. Leopard Sportive 1. Rangers of Bafut 1 point after 4 games of play. And yes, those are the standings for the M10 Elite 2 Championship after match day 4. Yes, we go straight away to the World Cup draws that took place a month ago, and we'll give a recap since Cameroon will be playing Mauritius and Libya on the 17th and the 21st of November 2023. Let's get a recap of where we stand. And yes, Group D actually sees Cameroon in Group D alongside Cape Verde, Angola, Libya, Eswatini and Mauritius, while Group E finds Morocco, Zambia, Congo, Tanzania, Nigeria, Eritrea, and Group F finds Cote d'Ivoire, Gabon, Kenya, Gambia, Burundi, and Seychelles. Away from that, we're going to find Group G, where we find Algeria, Guinea, Uganda, Mozambique, Botswana, Somalia, while Group H finds Tunisia, Equatorial Guinea, Namibia, Malawi, Libya, Liberia, Sao Tome and Principe, while Mali in Group I with Ghana, Madagascar, Central Africa, Comoros, and Chad. Group A, we'll go straight away to Group A to see Egypt, Burkina Faso, Guinea-Bissau, Sierra Leone, Ethiopia, and Djibouti. And Group B finds Senegal, Democratic Republic of Congo, Mauritania, Togo, Sudan, South Africa. And in Group C are the Super Eagles from Nigeria, South Africa, Benin, Zimbabwe, Rwanda, and Lesotho. So far, those are the draws of the World Cup qualifier, where Cameroon is in Group D. And mind you that Cameroon will be having her first qualifying game for the World Cup against Mauritius and Libya on the 17th and the 21st of November 2023. And mind you that we are having some public activities and media activities as well for these particular games that started yesterday, where yesterday they had an open training session that was open to the public as well as the media. Today is going to be a press conference to talk on how the Lions are actually preparing for this particular World Cup qualifier. Is Cameroon going to feature in the next World Cup? A question mark that lies in the hands of Coach Rigobert Song and the entire team, and equally the players that are going to be making their way any moment from now in the Lions' Den. And it is with this World Cup reminder of the draws that I get to cut the curtains in terms of spot on the Yellow Gbamu show this morning. Over to you, Rita Mafania, once more. Thank you for giving me the mic. No condition.
No condition, please. Today I woke up, feeling, just good. Like, one of those days that you don't have anything on your mind, like you don't have anything bothering you, you're just feeling amazing. So I promised myself that I'm not going to, spread violence today. Yeah, so I'm really trying my best.
Know that you have been spreading violence. Anyway, no problem.
Thank you so much for the sports updates. And yes, many Cameroonians have their ears out there as to whether we are going for the World Cup or not. And if we go, I think that's the highest time I watch football. So I need us to go so I can, get glued to my screen, and that is when I get to know a lot of things about football.
That's why you get to hear about Bushushu.
Yeah.
But that's what the girls love.
Yeah. Hey, Abube and the others and the Chipumo teens and the Toko, it can be.
I'm not doing bad, eh?
You're not doing bad. Okay, so this time around, quick one to our topic of discussion. How old is your oldest pair of shoes? I'm looking at this one. Sonita, seems like it's the oldest.
You would say that to me. Don't try it.
So how old is your oldest pair of shoes? I was telling the viewers, I think mine is 6-7 years or 5, I don't know, but thereabouts.
Oldest pair of shoes.
How old is it?
4 years. 4 years.
4 years.
Yes, 4 years.
4 years.
4 years.
And it still sizes you?
Yeah, not really. No, it doesn't. But I wear it.
Okay.
Yes, because it's kind of free, like sandals. It's sandals. With sandals, if it's small, it's big, you can manage it.
Yeah.
But if it's a cover shoes, you can, because it's gonna tie your feet.
Yeah.
So I think it's 4 years. It's 4 years. But if it's just to say, Mama, so 10 years, I still have them.
I was telling the viewers about this coat that my mom bought for me.
Coat.
Yes, 10 years ago.
Not suit.
Yeah, there's suits and there's coats.
Yes.
It's coats. And she told me it was really big. She just told me that I should wear it on that
Since you are
Christmas
growing,
day.
because that's what they normally
Well,
used to say.
she said, as you're growing, that's how you'll be wearing it. And guess what? I rocked it last week Sunday. Don't ask me how I rocked it.
I wanted to say it. Darita Mafani, I saw you with a coat on Sunday. Is that the coat you are talking about?
It's the coat.
Ladies and gentlemen, it was pepper coat.
And this is where we come to the end of the show this morning. It has been an amazing time in your company. And yes, we are saying a big thank you to Tamfo Clothing for manipulating the 1000 buttons, and to our editor-in-chief, Evista Young, and to our mentor, Humphrey Eno Ayuk. From my end,